Thank you for keeping it tuned into another edition of the Sports Cubicle and Sports from the Couch here on WCPT 820 AM, HeartlandSignal.com, and WSBC 1240 AM, Chicago. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube at The Sports Cubicle. I'm your host, Mike Mercado, and as the anticipation continued to mount, as the excitement continued to grow, as the talk became all about Saturday night Bears versus Packers, so much implication on a big, if not the biggest rivalry in the National Football League. It wouldn't be the Chicago Bears without them stepping on their own 2 feet with so much goodwill heading into a home game. But alas, it's still the Chicago Bears, and it comes off the heels. And so much comes off the heels of an open letter to Bears fans from Kevin Warren and the McCaskies about an update on the stadium situation, their brand new stadium, which should be a brand new stadium and has caused so much controversy. Well, it continues heading into the holiday season in 2025. This comes to us from NBC Chicago. Chicago Bears exploring possible new stadium sites in Northwest Indiana, team says. In an open letter to fans, the Chicago Bears say they are expanding their search for a new stadium site to include Northwest Indiana. The news comes months after the team expressed hope to get shovels in the ground on a new stadium in Arlington Heights, and the team insists it is not a play for, quote, leverage, but rather a move to deliver a world-class stadium to their fans. Bears president Kevin Warren insisted the team has not asked for public money for the construction of the stadium, but that their efforts to gain state assistance for local infrastructure around the sites have been rebuffed by state lawmakers. Quote, we ask only for a commitment to essential local infrastructure, roads, utilities, and site improvements, which is more than typical for projects of this size, Warren said in the letter. Additionally, we sought reasonable property tax certainty to secure financing. We listened to state leadership and relied on their direction and guidance, yet our efforts have been met with no legislative partnership. And the article continues. In his open letter, Warren said the Bears have been told by lawmakers in Springfield that their stadium project will not be a priority in 2026. Quote, our fans deserve a world-class stadium. Our players and coaches deserve a venue that matches the championship standard they strive for every day. With that in mind, our organization must keep every credible pathway open to deliver that future, Warren said. While the idea of building a stadium site in Northwest Indiana may seem out of left field, there have been rumblings about the state trying to attract professional sports franchises. House Bill 1292, which passed by large margins in the Indiana legislature, created the Northwest Indiana Professional Sports Development Commission, aiming to, quote, attract professional sports franchises to Northwest Indiana, according to the text of the bill. Quote, Northwest Indiana has a unique opportunity for economic development, Indiana State Rep Earl Harris said in a statement, capitalizing on the region's proximity to Chicago by bringing professional sports teams here makes sense for all parties involved. This is a chance to bring great investment and jobs to our community, and we know that the region offers a great base of operation and amazing fans for any sports franchise looking for a home. But that isn't the end of the story, because we had a response from Springfield, and this is an update from NBC Chicago. Slap in the face, Pritzker, Arlington Heights react to Bears stadium pivot. The Chicago Bears are exploring other potential new stadium sites, including Northwest Indiana, prompting rapid responses from political leaders. And the article continues to the response from Springfield. Needless to say, the response to the pivot was rapid and at times heated, with a spokesperson for Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker calling the move, quote, a startling slap in the face to the team's fans. Quote, suggesting the Bears would move to Indiana is a startling slap in the face to all the beloved and loyal fans who have been rallying around the team during this strong season, a statement read. Quote, the governor's a Bears fan and has always wanted them to stay in Chicago. He has also said that ultimately they are a private business that makes their own decisions. But the governor has also been clear that the bottom line for any private business development should not come at full expense of taxpayers. Arlington Heights officials also issued a statement on the news. Quote, both the Village and the Chicago Bears remain confident that their Arlington Park property in Arlington Heights is the best option for their new stadium and entertainment district, a statement read. Quote, however, we understand their need to explore any and all viable locations as part of their due diligence process. Due to restrictive legislation in Illinois, this exploration now includes moving to Indiana. Officials in the suburbs say they remain positive that a, quote, mega project bill is necessary to make the development in the village happen. Quote, we encourage our Illinois state legislators to move forward with the mega project bill, said Arlington Heights Mayor Tim Tinaglia in a statement. Quote, this legislation will help to keep the Chicago Bears in Illinois within the limits of Cook County and ultimately in Arlington Heights. The bill the Bears are seeking is known as Payment in Lieu of Taxes, or Pilot Bill. The bill would allow for companies like the Bears to freeze property tax breaks obtained to help facilitate large-scale developments. The Bears would then be permitted to negotiate an annual payment with Arlington Heights officials in lieu of a standard property tax assessment and payment. According to Crain's Chicago Business, the Bears would also pursue a separate program that will allow them to tap into expanded sales tax revenue the project in Arlington Heights would generate. When asked about the possibility of passing such a bill, Pritzker said that his administration is, quote, still considering the legislation. Quote, it's something we're still considering, he said during an event at Advocate Healthcare. Quote, we're going to evaluate what the costs are for the people of Illinois to do this, the benefits that come from attractive businesses as a result of providing that ability to use those tax dollars. Warren has said the team would be unable to move forward with a stadium project without a pilot bill in place. The governor also maintained his opposition to providing additional taxpayer funding for the project, saying the Bears need to continue investing private money into the massive proposed construction project. He did say, however, that the state will be willing to negotiate on potential infrastructure costs. Quote, I do not think that taxpayers of the state of Illinois should be propping up what now is an $8.5 billion valued business. They seem to be doing okay for themselves, he said. And I just don't think, obviously all of us, we build roads for everybody no matter who you are. We support businesses coming to or staying in the state of Illinois. And there's so much more you could check out over at NBC Sports Chicago about this open letter to the fans and the response from Springfield about the Chicago Bears stadium situation in Arlington Heights, in the lakefront, in Indiana. There is so much to break down about this story, and we've been doing it for years at this point. But there's a few big ones that have come into conversation for Bears fans. Number one, it is bad timing. It is the ultimate Chicago Bears bad timing. You have won 10 games, trying to win your 11th. You're heading into a Packers game, and then this is the story everybody's talking about. Now, to some organizations, to some coaches, to some fan bases, good. Distract us from the anxiety and the hype of being one of two games on Saturday night at 7 o'clock at Soldier Field, a potential chance to set yourself up to clinch a playoff berth. But the fact of the matter is, there's nothing good we're talking about. It's talking about inept leadership. It's talking about delay after delay after delay after bad business. And a lot of Bear fans see this as a slight on Kevin Warren. Kevin Warren was brought in to do this. Ted Phillips, George McCaskey, they're the ones who made this deal with Arlington Heights, buying off the racetrack, tearing it down, a $200 million investment. But this is not a Kevin Warren fault of his. He has to look for all the best options. He would have been doing this had he been here years before. But it's just such a Bears thing for you to do this the way they did at the time they did it. So much goodwill that they're just willing to flush down the toilet. Does this hurt the team, though? No. This didn't impact, will never impact what happens those 60 minutes between the lines at Soldier Field or at any NFL stadium. These are professionals that get paid a lot of money that have to play their hardest to survive 60 minutes of car crash football. So no, it doesn't affect the team. Does it affect the morality of the fan base maybe going to the game? To watch the team, to watch those 60 minutes perhaps, but not number 18, not Ben Johnson. So it won't impact the game. And it will set up for egg on the face of Kevin Warren, who talked about shovels in the dirt by the end of 2025. That has not happened. That's not going to happen.
But what might happen is, there is a world in a multiverse, in a universe, and another reality that the Bears do play in Northwest Indiana. Plenty of teams play in other places that they're not named after. It's going to happen whether it's Arlington Heights. Now, my guess is that they go to Arlington Heights because they've already spent money on it. And they still owe money for this Soldier Field, but that's another story, right? You don't need to give, the state does not need to give these any tax breaks. Because this is what it comes down to, is tax breaks with Arlington Heights. They're not meeting a number that they need. And it shouldn't be a priority to end 2025 for the state of Illinois heading into 2026. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of national turmoil going on in the city of Chicago. A lot of false narratives that have led to awful unjust arrest, awful tension, disbelief in the national politics that are supposed to protect its citizens. That's at the forefront. There are so many different things. Then you could talk about all any kind of crime stats, the school stats, all that. We need hospitals. We need schools. We don't need a playground that you won't have access to that will only host 9 games and 20 concerts. So don't think for 1 second that it's about your comforts, our comforts. The tickets will be more expensive. Season tickets will be harder to get. And they will take the best deal for them. And that includes moving state lines. But let me ask you this. Do you want your state, your representatives, who already get us enough taxes as it is, and I know a lot of you, that's how you vote, is how much money you're going to save. But you're mad at the state because they don't want to give good old George McCaskey a tax break? They don't want to bend over backwards for Kevin Warren? No. This is just the beginning of this story. And let's hope at some point Caleb Williams is able to play in this new stadium. Let us know your thoughts all over the universe right there on the comment section below here on YouTube at The Sports Cubicle. But we have a jam-packed edition of The Sports Cubicle and Sports from the Couch right here on WCPT 820 AM, HeartlandSignal.com, WSBC 1240 AM Chicago, and on YouTube at The Sports Cubicle. I'm your host, Mike Mercado.